Pro Wrestling Almanac podcast. Celebrating professional wrestling from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For wrestling fans, by wrestling fans.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to episode 14 of the Pro Wrestling Almanac podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to discuss Charlotte winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, James Ellsworth being released from the WWE, the news coming out of Impact Wrestling. We'll also discuss the upcoming NXT and WWE pay-per-views and our predictions. For our Ghost of Wrestling Past segment, we will cover ECW Heat Wave 1999 and our Indie Spotlight segment featuring Rise Wrestling. But first, it's time for the Wrestling Results Roundup.
The Wrestling Results Roundup. Here are the results from this week's televised shows. On NXT, Heavy Machinery, Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight beat Chris Payne and Sean Maluda. Kairi Sane beat Billy Kay. The Velveteen Dream beat Cesar Bononi. And Roderick Strong beat Adam Cole via disqualification. On Impact Wrestling, Matt Sydal beat Sanjay Dutt. GHC champion Eddie Edwards beat El Hijo del Fantasma. World Tag Team champions OVE, Jake and Dave Christ and Sami Callihan beat Ray Steele, Phil Atlas, and Burke, and Ali beat KC Spinelli. On WWE Main Event, Matt Hardy beat Kurt Hawkins, and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows beat Heath Slater and Rhino. On Impact Wrestling Explosion, Mahabali Shera beat Caleb Conley. On Ring of Honor TV, Punishment Martinez beat Josh Woods to become the #1 contender to the World Television Championship. World Television Champion Kenny King beat Mark Briscoe via forfeit. And Best Friends Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor beat The Addiction, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian to become the #1 contenders to the World Tag Team Championship. On WWE Raw, Bayley beat Dana Brooke and Mickie James to earn a spot on the Raw Women's Survivor Series team. Cruiserweight Champion Enzo Amore and Drew Gulak beat Akira Tozawa and Kalisto. Jason Jordan beat Bray Wyatt. The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins beat Intercontinental Champion The Miz and Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus. And Finn Balor and Samoa Joe beat Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. On WWE SmackDown Live, United States Champion Baron Corbin beat Sin Cara. Charlotte Flair beat Natalya to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Jimmy Uso beat Chad Gable. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fought The New Day, Big E, and Xavier Woods to a no contest. On WWE 205 Live, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann beat The Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher. Mustafa Ali beat Arya Davari, and Kalisto beat Drew Gulak. And that's all for this week's Wrestling Results Roundup.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, alongside with the founder of the ProWrestlingAlmanac.com, Tristan. How you doing, bud?
Well, but not as good as I could be. I've had a terrible migraine and neck pain all day, but since I'm not a big Nancy, I'm doing the podcast while I'm not feeling well.
Well, let me first of all, let me apologize to everybody out there. I was just absolutely miserably sick last week. I came down with something. I ended up going to the doctor, and they had no clue what it is.
It was granular vaginitis.
Yeah, well, they thought it could have been mono. They thought it was possibly the flu. I mean, I called you on Wednesday and
Thursday morning. Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, and I just sounded like hell. So Yeah, there was no way. I mean, just Tuesday alone, I slept for 20 hours.
Yeah.
And I never sleep. I'm normally a 5 to 6 hour a night guy, and that's it. So, I mean, I slept more last week than I have probably slept all month.
Well,
so,
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I am. Yeah, thank you. I hope you feel better. Migraine sucks. Lisa had one last night. Well, they're never good.
I took a muscle relaxer for my neck, and I will probably do okay. Right now, I'm like compulsively rubbing my forehead, and I don't even know why. So,
well, it'll be fun. Probably right around the Ghost of Wrestling Pass segment. Your painkillers will kick in.
Or for the trivia segment, I'll be like, I don't know, Doink the Clown?
Yes. We were talking about WWE champions, Tristan. Yes, Doink the Clown.
If every answer I give is Doink the Clown, then you'll know.
We know it kicked in. So, we got a lot to talk about, especially since we missed last week. We got 2 pay-per-views coming up, so let's get into the wrestling news. First and foremost.
Oh, wait, hang on, really quick. Hang on. Yeah. I just wanted to let everybody know. I apologize for the echo on my side. I'm in an apartment now, up in Salt Lake City, and it has vaulted ceilings, and I haven't had time to hang some blankets and whatnot to reduce the echo. So I apologize for the sound quality this week. Hopefully, it's a very temporary thing.
Oh, we should be fine. I don't think it's going to be that big of that big of a problem. Well, but all right. So, Charlotte winning the SmackDown title last night.
Yeah, I seem to remember the last time we had our show, somebody was complaining that the Survivor Series card was already all set. And I said, no, the titles are set for the matches, not the champions. And since then, we have had how many titles change hands? 3?
3.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I am very surprised. I'm very happy.
I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Well, I mean, just.
Hey,
having a
do you
title
remember what
change?
I said though about this is AJ winning the title in Manchester is the first time officially that the championship has changed hands outside of North America. So that in and of itself is very historic.
Well, the recognized.
That's what I said.
Remember,
officially.
Officially, because you did have the one time where
Antonio
Inoki won it,
right?
But it didn't get recognized.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no, I mean AJ winning Charlotte winning the title, it's setting up for a killer pay-per-view. The one thing that I loved is, especially being a father to 3 girls and 2 of them who play sports right now, after having watched the ESPN 30 for 30 for Ric Flair, which, by the way, guys, if you have not seen it, find it, watch it. Absolutely incredible. I mean, there were some things that I learned about Flair that I had never known before this. The fact that while he was training with Vern Gagne, that he actually quit.
Oh yeah, that was in his book.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was in his book.
Yeah, see, I never read the book, but you
should.
I don't like to. I don't like to read too much.
To know how to.
Unless it's a book on tape. I know how to, but it's just if it's a book on tape, I'm golden.
That's not reading, Mike.
Shut up, Tristan. But, with everything they talk about and how he even said, he goes, I was a horrible father. He goes, I was never there for my kids. They went without nothing. I mean, whatever they wanted, they got, but I was virtually never there for them. And when Charlotte won the title last night, last night. Yeah. And she starts giving that little speech, and she's talking about how, my dad's not here. He's had his health problems, but he's watching this on TV. So, Dad, I love you. I dedicated this win to you. And she's walking out, and all of a sudden, Flair's music hits, and he comes walking out of the gorilla position. And for that brief moment, you didn't see, Charlotte Flair. You saw Ashley Flair, running towards her dad.
You know what, though? It was announced earlier in the day that Flair was at SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, granted, it was still probably emotional and everything for her dad being there, but she knew he was there. It's not like they ran a real surprise angle, which they've done before.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, it just like I said, whether or not, it was planned or if they did catch her by surprise, it was still a great moment.
Yeah.
Especially with everything that Rick has been through.
Oh yes.
In the last few months. So,
well, remember, before SummerSlam, we were pretty certain Ric Flair was about to die.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and there were things that have been talked about where I was just listening to JR's podcast where they had Magnum TA on. And
I started listening to that.
He was talking about the fact that, when he had spoken with Tully Blanchard, because a lot of people don't know that Magnum TA is actually Tessa Blanchard's stepfather.
Yeah.
But, they were talking about it, and basically, they were saying that if they did not put him in that medically induced coma, there would have been no chance of him surviving. So, I mean, the fact that he's up, he's made virtually a full recovery. I mean, that's pretty much a miracle in and of itself. So
even a partial recovery seems like a miracle at this point.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but he doesn't look bad. He looks he looks pretty good. So, up next, Chinless is gone. James Ellsworth was released from his contract. He got his future endeavors.
Well, I think that it was a 1-year deal, because if you look back, it was around this time, end of November, that I went to a SmackDown house show, and Ellsworth was the guest timekeeper in a street fight between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. Yeah. And it was right around this time that he beat AJ in the ladder match to get his contract. And so, granted, that wasn't, when he got his contract, of course, but it seems like it was a 1-year deal, and, he went out like a champ, man, getting beat up by all the girls, like.
But you know what?
He knew his spot.
He basically, he just put out a tweet, earlier today that basically said, "Thank you at WWE for letting me live my dream. Thank you, fans, for all your support. I will continue to prove # any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance." I mean,
can I just stop you for just a second? Please, for the love of God, just say WWE, not at WWE.
Hey, I'm gonna read it the way it's written.
I hate Twitter so much.
You gotta give the guy credit. I mean, the guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know a single one of us that would not take what he got.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they called us up and said, for 1 year, you are going to get to be a WWE superstar, you're going to get to travel the world, you're going to be on television.
You're going to get to beat the WWE champion 3 times.
Yes.
What?
What? So I mean, hands down. And you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, he'll always have a place now. I mean, he's not going to be. I mean, he's already got more fans than Virgil, the loneliest man at the wrestling conventions. But
he might be back. He might not. I think he's really going to have to improve a lot if he ever wants to come back. But
yeah,
he was a novelty act. He got hired because the fans liked to watch him die.
Well, it's funny to think about the fact that both him and Braun Strowman started off as rosebuds.
No, he wasn't a rosebud.
Yes, he was.
Well, if he was, it was just when they came through town.
But that's, I mean, before he got brought in for the squash match against Strowman. But so
well before, but okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it is just kind of ironic that both of them, if I remember, there's a picture showing them actually standing right next to each other during an Adam Rose segment.
I don't know about that, but I haven't seen that picture. But
I mean, the guy lived the dream. I mean, he got to do something that many of us would kill to have the opportunity to do if given the chance. So,
he also was very, very good at what he did. He got beat up as good as Mikey Whipwreck did. And then he was the perfect little scumbag boyfriend for Carmella.
Oh,
and then they put him on a leash, and he did that too. Like he was good. He was good at what he did. That's not to say that what he did was good, but he did it to the best of his ability. And I remember, like, on Yes Wrestling, one of the mods, Greg DeMarco, cheap plug. He's running a promotion down in Phoenix, I think. And he had James Ellsworth on his first card, or one of his early cards. And I commented on the poster, "Dear Lord, what happened to that poor young man's chin?" And this is before, and then like 3 weeks later, he's on Raw, and then he's getting a freaking contract and beating AJ Styles. Like, what in the world? I'd never seen this guy before, ever.
Yeah.
And I guess he was, he made the rounds in the indies, but yeah, to go from being on the poster of an indie fed to being on SmackDown in a matter of like weeks to months.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So, congratulations, best of luck to him.
Yeah, for real. Keep up.
Who knows? Like you said, we may see him again. We may not. See him
again. Yes. Because he wasn't bad in the ring. He's just got a long way to go.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So, moving on, some very sad news, if you even want to consider it news, coming out of Impact Wrestling.
We need to caveat this with that the fact that this news is a couple of weeks old. And we were trying to stay with the more current events, because we missed a week, we were trying to act like that week never was missed, that we just carry on as normal. But this is significant enough that it definitely needed to be mentioned. Go ahead, Mike.
So it is being reported that Yes Impact is paying people to attend its tapings.
250 people at $50 per day for anywhere from 1 to 5 days. So obviously they're short on their sales. Did they try to give the tickets away and couldn't? Or did they completely skip that step and decide that it would be better to part with that money and have a full arena than to risk not having a full arena for nothing?
Well, I'm looking at the actual advertisement that had come out for it, and it basically says principal cast breakdown for Impact Wrestling dash Aberdeen Pavilion. Follow the instructions below. Please email, and it gave the email address. Please send us your full name, age, phone number, email address. Must be Ottawa local, non-union only, non-speaking role. Filming dates Tuesday, November 7th through November 9th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pay rate is $12.50 an hour for 4 hours, $50 per day of work. Gives the address and all of that. But I mean, yeah, wow. Okay. I mean, it's just.
I'm going to take a little bit of a different slant of this. If as a company for Anthem, it is probably more detrimental to them to have an empty arena than for people to say, wow, they're paying people to come to their shows. Because if they happen to pick up a few casual fans, they're not going to know that news anyway. So, you know, I've always been one that touted the appearance of nice over actual nice, meaning laminate floors instead of hardwood floors, etc. Mm-hmm. This is the appearance of nice. If you can't afford nice, you have the appearance of nice. And that's what this is. So it's going to give them the effect of having a full arena at a minimal cost. It's not really that much money that they're parting with. And it will look much better than an empty arena or a half-empty arena or whatever it would have been.
I agree with that part, but I still think about the sheer fact that maybe it was not the best idea for them to try to do those continual tapings in Canada right after Bound for Glory. I mean,
they did the same thing for Slammiversary, but that was in Orlando.
Exactly. Orlando has well been established as a, wrestling fan location.
It's also they're also at Universal Studios. They have a revolving fresh audience.
Yes. Whereas, up in Canada, I mean, we all know Canadians, love their wrestling, they love their hockey, and they love their Molsons and Tim Hortons donuts, by the way. But just the fact that they decided to do that many shows right after their biggest pay-per-view of the year, it just seems like they oversaturated the market. And I mean, it's still a pretty decent chunk of change. 250 people.
Oh yeah.
$50 a day is just shy of $13,000. Right. I mean, that's
See, and
so I mean,
and, they could have just gotten by putting out a press release that told Canada that Canada hurt their feelings, and people would have shown up to apologize.
Definitely, but. I mean, to me, just, as a wrestling fan, if you're trying to be considered as one of the big promotions, the fact that you're having to pay people to show up, it just doesn't bode well, to me at least. It's not, something that is going to make me want to take them serious. I mean, probably the funniest line I ever heard about that, and if you guys get a chance, listen to JR's podcast where he was talking with Jason Powell, and Jason broke the news to JR, and all you hear JR is just mumbling under his breath going, "Oh, good God." I mean, as soon as he heard the words that they were paying people to show up for the tapings. So
yeah, I mean, it's not good news. The press release makes it look much worse than it actually is. If the press release had never broken, no one would know about it, and therefore no one would suspect it. They would have a full arena. But this is, the people at Anthem not realizing that the people that are going to these TNA shows are internet wrestling fans.
Yes.
It's going to wind up on the internet.
Oh, definitely. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much it. It's kind of been slow news lately. So let's get into the meaty portion of tonight's podcast, which is we got 2 pay-per-views coming up this weekend. The one that I have been wanting to see anywhere in the WWE for a very, very, very long times. We'll have War Games, NXT TakeOver, and followed by Sunday, we will have the 2017 Survivor Series. So let's start talking about War Games. Several matches already on the card.
Right.
We'll also, if you want right now, we'll do our predictions.
We'll just run down the card and do the predictions for each match as we go through them, as we've done in the past, I think.
Yeah, first match I have is Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan.
I mean, Lars Sullivan's going to win it. He's murdering people left and right. This is like the first match that's going to be a challenge for him, kind of like when Baron Corbin fought Bull Dempsey. It should be, Lars Sullivan's squashes have been very entertaining, and he's beating, he was beating up his tag partners, and then he took on his 3 tag partners in a handicap match, and he destroyed them, and he's just destroying people 1, 2, 3 at a time. And like I say, Cassius Ohno is probably the No Way Jose was, but No Way Jose got beat just like everyone else did, as did Danny Burch, as did Oney Lorcan. They got a couple shots in, but Cassius Ohno is probably going to be the first guy to give him a challenge, like a real challenge.
So, I agree. I think Lars Sullivan's going to get the win in that one. Next match we have is going to be Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream.
Go ahead.
I'm going with Aleister Black on this one.
It's kind of hard to say. The Velveteen Dream is basically Goldust. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
He's trying to make people uncomfortable. He's the first person that got Aleister Black to speak. He came out and cut a promo on the Velveteen Dream based off of his actions.
Yeah.
I tend to agree that Aleister Black is going to win, but if the Velveteen Dream did win this match, I would not be surprised, nor would I be unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with Aleister Black as well.
Yeah, I mean, either way, no matter who wins this one, this is not going to be one of those matches that is going to make or break the pay-per-view. So
no, but it is a match that if it's not done properly can make or break one of these guys. Both of these guys should come out of this match better than they went into it. And if they don't do that, then they failed.
Yes. No, that is true. So
yeah, just like Cassius Ohno, Cassius Ohno has to put Lars Sullivan over. He's got to put him over big. So Lars Sullivan needs to show that he can take some moves and come back. So Cassius Ohno has a job ahead of him as well.
Yes,
his is much easier. Cassius Ohno is over. He doesn't need to work that hard to maintain it. The Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black are over, but they're still new.
Yes. Next match on the card, we have the NXT Women's Championship. Kairi Sane versus Peyton Royce versus Ember Moon versus Nikki Cross.
Well, as much as I would like to say that Kairi Sane is going to win, I think that Ember Moon is and has been the uncrowned champion since Asuka left. So
yeah,
I think that she's going to be the one that walks out with it. Now,
quick question.
Yes.
I haven't been able to watch this week's NXT or last week's, but is this going to be an elimination or is this a fatal 4-way?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
you did take the words.
It is a fatal 4-way, but whether or not it's a fatal 4-way elimination.
Yeah.
I mean, hang on.
But you took the words right out of my mouth.
I've got the card up in front of me. Let's take a look here. It just says fatal 4-way. Okay. If it was an elimination, it would have said elimination. So no, it's not an elimination match. One fall to a finish.
Okay, yeah, no, I thought Ember Moon was going to win this. Like I said, you pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. She has been the unofficial, uncrowned champion. She had an amazing match with Asuka. So I think they're going to put the title on her. A few amazing matches with Asuka. Well, a few, yeah, no, exactly. So I mean, Kairi Sane, she'll have her time, and that'll come soon. I think. I don't think Ember is going to hold the title for a
she'll probably be one of the post WrestleMania.
But I definitely. Yeah, so I definitely think that she's going to walk out of there with the title. Next match on the card, NXT Championship match, Drew McIntyre coming in as champion versus Andrade Cien Almas. I think McIntyre is going to hold on to the title. I do too, because I just don't see Almas being champion. Well, I could see him as champion. I can. I don't see him as a long-term champion. My only thing is, what else are they going to do with Drew McIntyre right now?
Well, he could go back up to the main roster.
He could, but I don't think they're going to, especially at this time of the year. If McIntyre is going to go up, he's going to go up for the Rumble.
Maybe.
So I think he's going to hold on to the title. So you?
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I don't see.
Okay.
I don't see.
And then finally. Champion. Okay. Final match of the night, the one that I have been looking forward to. Not too sure about how I feel when they came out with the rules for this match.
Why is that?
Well, the whole shark cage, the way they're going to be releasing the teams, where it's going to be the whole team come in not staggered after the original 3 are in the ring, because they've never done this as a triple threat,
right?
It's always been tag teams.
No, apparently there was one year where they did do 3 teams. That was one of the later ones after 97, which we watched last time.
Okay.
Somebody enlightened me to the fact that not only has that been done, but the win by pinfall has been done as well.
Okay. Well, all I know, we're going to have the AOP versus the Undisputed Era versus Sanity.
Well, AOP and Roderick Strong.
Yes. This is going to be a tough one to call. Truthfully, for me, I cannot pick a winner in this match. I just want to see a good match. I want to see how the crowd reacts. I want to see how the wrestlers react, how they put this on. I'm hoping for a good match because I would like to see War Games happen again. Not become a regular yearly thing, but bring it in once in a while. So I'm kind of not picking anybody in this match. So who do you have?
Well, I really think that Roderick Strong is going to turn on AOP and help the Undisputed Era win.
Okay.
They've tried to recruit him once already, and I just think that that's what's going to happen. So yeah.
Excuse me. Well, no matter what, Looking forward to this pay-per-view. Can't wait. It's going to be really interesting to see the other matches on the card, and see if they utilize the two rings like in previous War Games pay-per-views. That fatal four-way for the women's title could be a very interesting match. With there being the two rings present. So looking forward to it. Can't wait for it. We'll discuss it maybe after Sunday show. And speaking of Sunday, 2017 edition of the Survivor Series.
Yep.
Let's start with the let's see here.
Kickoff.
We'll start
Kalisto
off with
versus Enzo.
Kalisto versus Enzo. I think Enzo is going to retain. I don't see them taking the title off of him anytime soon.
Not long term, and if Kalisto just won it and lost it again, it would be stupid.
Exactly. I mean, they've already been, playing ping pong with the championship, so I think Enzo's going to hold on to it. The women's Survivor Series elimination match, we're going to have Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley versus Becky Lynch. Have they named the replacement for Charlotte?
They're not naming it until Sunday. And it will likely be Natalya, but it could also wind up being a mystery opponent like Paige, because they had said that Paige was going to be part of the match. And so, and there were rumors prior to her return, which we still are, that she would be going back to SmackDown despite being drafted to Raw.
Yeah.
So it could be Paige.
It could be Paige. It could be Natty. We don't know. The remaining are Naomi, Carmella, and Tamina. I think we're gonna see the SmackDown team pull this off. If they don't, and the Raw women's team wins this, I would not be surprised, only if Natty, I'm thinking of a different scenario. I think the SmackDown women's team is going to win this match.
Okay. I think that the Raw team wins with Asuka being the sole survivor. I don't think that they're going to waste Asuka's first loss in how many days? Her first loss in WWE in an elimination match. The only way that it happens is if she takes like a nasty bump outside and they have to cart her off. That is the only way that I see SmackDown getting the win.
Okay. I can see that. Next match will be the men's Survivor Series elimination match. We're going to have the Raw team captained by Kurt Angle with Triple H, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe versus the SmackDown team captained by Shane McMahon with John Cena, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode.
So, more times than I can think of off the top of my head, Randy Orton has been the sole survivor in a Survivor Series match. In fact, he did it 3 years in a row in 2003, 2004, and 2005.
Okay.
I think that Randy Orton is going to be the sole survivor of this match and win the match for his team. If it's not Randy Orton winning for SmackDown, it's going to be Braun Strowman winning for Raw. But I think that the Raw team is going to lose thanks to interference from Jason Jordan. I don't think it's going to be an outright heel turn. I think it's going to be botched interference.
Okay. Basically like coming in to trying to help his dad, and
at least that's how it's going to appear, yes.
Yeah, okay. I at least agree on the SmackDown team winning this one. I just think by losing, it definitely can set up the possible Triple H, Kurt Angle feud going into either the Rumble or carry it over into, WrestleMania. But it definitely can set the groundwork for that feud. So, next match on the card, tag team champions, The Bar versus tag team champions, the Usos, title against title.
No, champion versus champion, not title versus title.
Yeah, champion versus champion. They're not up for grabs. Right. So champion versus champion.
Words mean things, buddy.
I think the Bar is going to win this one.
I do too.
I just think they've been very strong. They just got the titles back. So I think it'll be a very good match. Could be one of those matches that steals the show, has the potential to at least steal the show. Next match, I love how CBS News has this one mentioned mid-card champs. The Miz with the
they are the mid-card champs.
No, I know. It's funny to read it that way. The Miz with the IC title up against Baron Corbin and the United States title.
It's very
I see Corbin winning this.
It's very difficult to say who's
going to
win. Same with the tag match. I didn't get to pick who I thought was going to win. I think that the Usos are going to win that match.
I thought you agreed and said the Bar was going to win when I said it.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I
said the Bar's going to win, and I thought you said, yeah, I agree.
Maybe I did. I think the Usos are going to win. I must have been reading my phone because I got a text message from my wife.
Oh, yeah. How's she doing?
She's doing well. She's got a parasite, so.
Yeah, I know.
Keeps kicking her.
Yeah, well, hey, once they're out, then they latch onto you for about the next 18 and 20 years and slowly suck the blood out of you anyway. So.
Yep.
I
think the Miz is going to win. I think that's the wrong decision, but I think the Miz is going to win. I think Corbin needs the win more, and a loss wouldn't hurt the Miz because the Miz, his strength comes from the microphone anyway. So
yes. Yeah, I think Corbin's actually going to pull this one off. Like you said, it's not going to hurt the Miz if he loses this match. So it should be an okay match. Next match on the card, we're going to have Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte.
I got a feeling. Yeah, Charlotte, I think.
If she hadn't just won the title, if it had been Natalya, I'd probably be more inclined to go with Alexa Bliss. But
I would agree, but I think Charlotte
just won the title. She can't afford a loss this early in her reign.
No, exactly.
Now, because this is her first time with the SmackDown Championship. Quite different from Cesaro and Sheamus, who have held the tag titles twice before.
Yes.
So...
I definitely think Charlotte is going to win this match. Then we get the Shield versus the New Day.
The Shield. There's not even a discussion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see there being any scenario where the New Day walks out with the win on this one. No. So, and that brings us up to the main event of the evening. Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus WWE Champion AJ Styles.
I don't know why this is the main event. I've never heard of either of these guys.
Yeah, I don't either. I tell you, though, man, I'm kind of disappointed because I really wanted to see Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal.
Well, I mean, it meant obviously what happened is Brock went to Vince McMahon and begged him to take the title off of Jinder so he didn't have to face him at Survivor
Series. Of course.
That's obviously what happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing that probably disappoints me about this match more than anything is the fact that I do not get to watch the Singh brothers get double suplexed about 19 times. I mean,
I think Brock may have actually killed one of them. They're so light. If he Germaned one of them, he could have thrown them into a turnbuckle or like off the ropes or out of the ring. Not even meaning to.
I truly think if Brock Lesnar would have got a hold of one of the Singh brothers, he would have lawn darted one of them.
From the ring to the LED screen on the ramp.
And then Randy Orton just kind of like photo bombs with that little look of his, like, oh. Yeah.
Whoops.
that would have been. But I mean, all joking aside, I am actually.
Who's joking?
And yeah, well, I'm very happy that we're having AJ in this match because.
Oh yes.
I did not like the idea of Jinder versus Lesnar.
Well, I did match, just because of what could happen to Jinder Mahal.
Well, see, for me, it was more along the lines of what could happen to the Singh brothers. I mean, forget Jinder. I mean, I love watching the Singh brothers just get the ever-living shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, they've got to have rubber bones because they should have died several times.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, no, but I think this is going to be a very, very, very good match. I still think Brock Lesnar is going to walk out with the win, not AJ.
Uh-huh.
But it's going to be a good match.
Oh, yes. It is going to be a good match. Lesnar is going to win because he's Lesnar. But just like in the Aleister Black Velveteen Dream match, both guys can come out of this looking more over than they went in. Brock can kill AJ, and as long as AJ gets a good amount of offense in, gets a couple of near falls, he's going to come out looking like a world beater. And
oh yeah,
the thing is that he's probably going to get beat with one F5, which is good. I like that. And the fact that people should be more expecting that, especially after he beat Goldberg with one F5. He beat Samoa Joe with one F5. He beat Braun Strowman with one F5. So the fact that they're making his finisher a finisher, and it seems like they're making all finishers, in that, did you notice that AJ Styles did not kick out of the Colossus? He got his foot on the ropes. So still, no one has kicked out of the Colossus. So the fact that they're making finishing moves again, I love.
Is huge.
But people are still going to complain that he got pinned with one F5. And it has more to do with the fact that Dean Ambrose is kicked out of an F5 than Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe have both been put down with one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Brock wins.
But yeah, no, I'll tell you, I really like the entire card for this pay-per-view. I do love the fact that they continued and brought back the traditional Survivors Series elimination matches. So all in all,
well, they did that last year. Last year they had the tag team Survivor Series match, which I thought was great, where it was 5 tag.
Say that again, you were breaking up.
I said last year they had the 5-on-5 teams match, which I loved, and I was kind of hoping they would do that again. Especially since they've got more teams now, that they could have had 5 teams and had still had the champion versus champion match. Allow me to back up and caveat something. You've got the possibility in the men's Survivor Series match of Jason Jordan running in, but we can't forget the fact that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are quite disgruntled that they've been left off of the team.
That is true.
So there is the chance of interference that way as well. However, I think that with what Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been doing, they might come out and help SmackDown win.
Possibly.
Just a thought.
Yeah. And then just to give you guys a heads up, we're thinking about trying something new. After this pay-per-view, we're thinking about doing a show immediately after Sunday night's pay-per-view where Tristan and I talk about the pay-per-view, the results, what we thought, just a raw, fresh,
immediate thoughts from
the pay-per-view.
That way we don't have to take up an hour of the podcast talking about a pay-per-view that at that point is 3 days old.
Exactly. So we haven't had time to come up and formula our answers and what we were thinking. Just true, brutal, honest thoughts of the pay-per-view.
Let me let you know though, buddy. It may not be immediately after because I will be driving back from Colorado on Sunday. I am going to try to get back early enough that I can watch at least most of the pay-per-view at home. And anything else I'll be listening to while I'm driving.
All right.
But so it may not be immediately after, but it will be released either late Sunday or early Monday.
Well, that works for me. So yeah, that's about it. 2 pay-per-views, NXT TakeOver War Games, Survivor Series.
And we will be covering both of those. Should we do the PWA thoughts, whatever we're going to call it, the PWA PPV. I think that's what we call it, PWA on the PPV.
That works for me.
Cool.
So, but that's it for this week's in wrestling news. So go ahead, once again, check out our site, ProWrestlingAlmanac.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PWAlmanac and on Facebook at Pro Wrestling Almanac. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and iTunes, and we can also be heard on TuneIn Radio and Google Play. So now it's that time to play Stump the Almanac. All right, so for this segment of Stump the Almanac, we're actually going to do some trivia on the 15th anniversary show of WWE Raw. So go with question number 1. The show on December 10th, 2007 was held where?
December 7th.
And if you would like, I can...
Yeah, give me choices.
St. Louis, Missouri, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Los Angeles, California, or Chicago, Illinois?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
That is correct.
That was a total guess. By the way.
You were right on that one. Bridgeport hosted the Raw episode. It's close, of course, to the headquarters. So
I couldn't imagine Bridgeport being on there unless it was actually the answer. So,
question number 2: the crowd was pumped as the show kicked off with the McMahon family portrait containing Stephanie McMahon, Shane, Vince, and Hornswoggle. Before the cameraman could take the picture, who interrupted the priceless moment?
Finley.
Nope.
Huh.
I'll give you here are your choices.
Okay.
Mick Foley, Hulk Hogan, Triple H, or Stone Cold?
Stone Cold.
Actually, it was Triple H. Triple H came out for the family photo.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
First match of the evening was a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Who won the match?
2007. Let me see. Can you give me my choices, please?
Snitsky, Ken Kennedy, Carlito, or Jeff Hardy?
Jeff Hardy.
That is correct, Jeff Hardy.
You should have had better options. 2 of those guys weren't even Intercontinental Champion.
Question number 4. Sabu returned for one night only to face Santino Marella. True or false?
False.
That is correct. He did not. Number 5, who was chosen as Rated RKO's tag team partner against Batista, Flair, and Triple H?
Options, please.
Your options are Elijah Burke, Umaga, Shane McMahon, or Chavo Guerrero.
I want to say Umaga.
That is correct. Okay. Umaga. Let's see here. Let's go with one more.
Okay.
All right. There was a 16-man battle royal containing former Raw superstars. Who won that battle royal?
I have no idea. Psycho Sid.
Okay, here are your choices. The Repo Man, IRS, Scotty 2 Hotty, or Ted DiBiase.
Scotty 2 Hotty.
It was IRS. Yeah, after IRS won the match, DiBiase came out with some money and paid IRS to throw himself over the top rope, declaring him victorious. Although the WWE reported that the match was officially won by IRS.
Okay.
Some other participants in the match were Steve Blackman, Al Snow, Flash Funk, Skinner, Bart Gunn, Pete Gas, Doink the Clown, Sergeant Slaughter, Gangrel, Jim Neidhart, and Gilbert.
All right, well, good questions this week, man. I told you the specific event questions are much, much better than generalized stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. It makes you think a little bit and you can get a little in-depth. So, and then once again, folks, if you ever have any questions and you want to try to stump the Almanac, please send them to our email address, stumpthealmanac@gmail.com. So, with that segment being over, now it's time for us to take a look back into the history of wrestling as we are visited by the ghost of wrestling past.
You, the spirit whose coming was foretold?
I am.
Who? What are you?
I'm the ghost of
Wrestling's
past.
Okay, so for this week's Ghost of Wrestling Past, I chose ECW Heat Wave 1999. I chose this one for a couple of reasons. One, we'd done several Big 2 shows. We've done one ECW show. And number 2 is that it was the first ECW pay-per-view that I saw ever, let alone live. I actually got it on pay-per-view. And I've never really been a fan of the so-called garbage wrestling, death matches, etc. But I remember being fascinated by the show because while it was extreme gratuitous violence, it didn't seem, maybe gratuitous is the wrong word, because all of the violence had a purpose. And so let's just do a quick rundown of the card. You got that, Mike?
Yeah. Grab it. It's right here. So, first match of the evening, we had Vito Lagraza.
That was a dark match, buddy.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Chris Chetty and Nova versus
That's
Danny
right.
Doring and Roadkill.
Yes, with Miss Congeniality.
Yes. Who eagle-eyed viewers and, like any viewer with eyesight would know that is Lita.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think about the match? I think there was really only one bad match on this show. So, actually, I said let's run down the card. Just run down the card.
All right, so we had that one. Second match, Jazz versus Jason Knight. Super Crazy versus Little Guido. Spike Dudley and Balls Mahoney versus the Dudley Boys. Taz versus Tajiri. And Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn versus the Impact Players, which was Lance Storm and Just Incredible.
Okay. So let me ask you, Mike, what was your favorite match on this card?
Probably the actually,
it's hard to say, right? Those top three matches.
It is.
You know what? Really
this may be okay. Out of just a sheer wrestling match, I really like the super crazy Little Guido match.
It was a good match.
It wasn't great, but it was solid.
Oh yeah.
Sure. It was a solid match. Favorite part of the entire pay-per-view, the Dudley Boys promo before their match.
Yes, pretty good.
Wow, that's all I have to say.
Yeah,
is wow. Thank God when I started watching this, I had my earpiece in and I was watching it on my phone while I was eating dinner.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, that was probably a good thing because my daughters are sitting next to me and
Dad, what does suck dick mean?
Yeah, exactly. I did not need to be dealing with that. So all I have to say is wow. I mean, but you know what? I don't expect anything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you saw the authorized history of ECW or whatever it was when they did the sit-down panel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When Bubba and Devon talked about the fans, like, waiting for them in the parking lot and stuff, you probably took that a little tongue-in-cheek, right?
No, I actually didn't because, I mean, from a lot of the stuff I've watched, just about, the old Legends of Wrestling roundtables that were on, the old WWE 24/7 back on the web. I mean, you've always heard the stories where, heels legitimately had to worry about being stabbed. I mean, that's why...
Not in 1998, 1999, though.
But you know what? Because knowing about ECW and knowing that fan base, nothing surprised me with that fan base. That's why when I heard that, when they were talking about that, I wasn't sitting there going, yeah, okay, sure. I'm sitting there going, well, these are people who tried to kill someone in the ring by throwing all of their chairs on top of them. So
yeah, that's true.
I can see that happening.
Well, I think that my favorite match of the night is the Dudleys versus Spike and Balls.
It was a good match.
My favorite moment has to be Taz choking out to Jerry with the barbed wire. That and the flaming table spot were about the only things that stuck with me through having not seen this pay-per-view since it first aired.
Oh, come on. What about Taz hurling a wheelchair?
No, I did not remember that at all. I will never forget it again. But
that was an amazing spot. I mean, he has the guy in the wheelchair, which, by the way, that was just a weird setup for me where you have the entrance ramp level.
Oh, ECW did that a lot.
No, I know.
WCW
I've never
used to do it too.
I know, but I've never liked it. It just doesn't.
There was a great spot when Taz won the TV championship from Bam Bam Bigelow, where he was. That might not have been the same match, but that match might have ended in no contest. The one I'm talking about now, where they had the rope like that, and Taz had Bam Bam Bigelow in the Taz mission, and Bigelow fell backwards, and they both went through the ramp.
Wow.
So that ramp, if they didn't do it that way, they would have lost several spots that they've used. So then that ramp serves its purpose.
No, I know. I'm just saying visually, it just, if you're used to watching WWE or a lot of WCW, you're used to the ramp being far away, not the same. So I mean, it didn't make or break the pay-per-view, but I mean, man, just that spot of him wheeling the guy towards the ring at full speed, throwing him out of the wheelchair, he hits the ropes.
And then just hucks that shit
and
right
then,
into his face.
Well, I mean, I got to give Taz credit. I mean, you got to be pretty coordinated that in that sheer amount of time, you know, as quickly as it was, to throw, fold, lift, and chuck a wheelchair.
Well, let me tell you something about Taz. If WWE had booked Taz half as well as Paul Heyman booked Taz, Taz would, not could, would have been WWE champion in his first year.
Oh, no. I agree with you on that one. Totally agree with you on that one. The man, I mean, for being as small and his short stature that he was, the man was a hell of a wrestler.
Well, it's not just that. He was booked so well that guys like Bam Bam Bigelow were the underdog in their matches. That should tell you something.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I mean, all in all, I mean, I liked the pay-per-view. You know, I think you and I are probably thinking that the one match that neither one of us liked, I think it's probably the same one.
Jazz versus Jason Knight?
Yep, there you go.
That is the first time I ever saw Jazz. And I have been, when Jazz came into the WWE, I was a major mark for Jazz.
Uh-huh.
And it's because of this match. But it was not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very rare that you can pull off an intergender match and have it done well. You know, it takes a certain kind of woman, a la a, you know, China, you know, to where you sit there and go, yeah, I can see her actually doing it.
Well, the lucha style lends to that, and that's why people like Sexy Star,
lucha would be the other one until
Velez have managed to be successful in a less than believable situation.
Yeah,
they've managed to be believable because they, when you're flying around and everything like that, I mean, wrestling involves a certain suspension of disbelief anyway.
Oh, of course.
So if you put people on an equal footing right from Jump Street, then you've already jumped a major hurdle.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, you know, while ECW did a lot of man on woman, woman on man violence, they still, if the woman ever won, it was always by a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
When the man was in advantage, he just manhandled the woman. You know, no pun intended, of course. And so, that's what happened with Jazz. So Jazz, but I've always liked Jazz, and it's because of seeing her in this match, because I liked what she did, and then when she came to WWE, I was like, oh yeah, I remember her. Cool, I'm gonna root for her now.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I also can say from having watched, a decent amount of, not so much the ECW pay-per-views, but just, a lot of their mainly their East Coast shows. It was also weird not seeing the normal cast of characters in the crowd. The guys that you were used to, like the guy with the Hawaiian shirt and the straw hat. It was things like that really, when they were back at home at the ECW arena. But
yeah,
these
the
fans,
long-haired dude with the sunglasses, the dude in the Hawaiian shirt and straw hat. Yeah.
Exactly. It was all stuff like that led to ECW being what it was. Now, with that being said, man, those fans in that arena were just as diehard, though, as they would have been at the ECW arena in Philly.
ECW fans were ECW fans.
Oh yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Exactly. So, I mean, at no point did ECW fans stop being ECW fans, which is very evident when you go to ECW One Night Stand, when those ECW fans 4.5 years after the company closed its doors were still just as rabid.
Oh, no, exactly. But yeah, no, I did like it.
I told you would.
The Spike Dudley match, Spike and Balls versus the Dudleys, great match. The ending with the lit tables. I mean, I love Joey Styles. I mean, guy does not get enough credit.
No,
he really doesn't.
Nope.
You know, the guy is a very good broadcaster.
He was also a very effective coin salesman on the Home Shopping Network.
Really?
Yes, he was.
I never knew that. But just little things like, oh God, Balls Mahoney was just dropped on his neck.
Yep.
That's it. He's done. I mean, he had a way of keeping you involved. It wasn't your traditional, color or play-by-play guy.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I think it might have been in the tag match at the end. It may have been in the Super Crazy Little Guido match when Joey Styles went full on Howard Cosell.
Oh God, I don't remember.
You remember when he was just calling the entire every move after move after move in one sequence, just rapid fire.
Yes.
And Cyrus is like, dude, slow down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cyrus had some
great
pretty good one-liners. I mean, almost like a la, Corey Graves now.
What's the NHL?
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all,
remember Cyrus
I definitely
Canadian, so.
Yeah. All in all, I would definitely recommend this pay-per-view for people to watch.
Yep. Especially if you like violence.
Yes, watching Bubba with a cheese grater in particular.
Or New Jack with a vacuum cleaner.
New Jack with anything. I mean,
New Jack is frightening.
I mean,
he was at Primo's Slave to the Death match this year. He went up against one of the guys I know, goes by the name of Eric Angel, and he's their 303 champion, which is like their secondary title.
Okay.
I didn't realize it's a 303 title, so it's like the 303 area code of Denver, but all of the matches are 3-on-3 matches.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, 303.
Yeah, see, I'm just waiting for New Jack to go to bigger and better scaffold matches where he finally decides to take a fall off a 155-foot scaffold.
Was it Hardcore Heaven 2000? I think it was when he pulled Vic Grimes off. Yep.
No. What? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The XPW show.
No. This was.
Hold on. No. You're right.
It was 2000 ECW. They were up on a scaffold. It was
40-foot scaffold.
It was Living Dangerously.
That's right.
And he
hurled him.
Well, okay. Here's what happened: is Vic Grimes was supposed to get thrown off through a table. He got scared. New Jack proceeded to grab him by the head and then jump off of the scaffold. And then 400-pound Vic Grimes landed on New Jack's head.
Oh.
Yeah. So New Jack, I have a friend who was a big New Jack fan. He was, when we did Backyard Wrestling, you remember him. I'm not going to mention it. Well, I'll say Insaniac, but I won't mention his name.
Yeah.
He was a huge New Jack fan, and I don't know the truth of this story, but that he was somehow backstage at an XPW show, and he saw New Jack basically chloroform himself to get ready for his match. Yeah. Like I say, I don't know the truth of that based off of the source. And you know what source I'm talking about if it's a story about somebody that both me and my source know, and said source is less than honest.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I do. What I was thinking of when you were talking about that, it was actually the rematch between the two of them was the one I was talking about back in 2002 for XPW.
Oh, okay.
At a show called Free Fall, where New Jack threw Grimes from 40 feet into the ring, but unfortunately Grimes only landed on 2 of the 12 tables that were intended to break his fall, and he ended up dislocating his ankle on the ring rope. So
yeah, it sounds about par for the course right there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, he was just... I mean, the guy's forehead looks like a Shar-Pei.
Oh, yeah. Now,
I mean...
So in the grand scheme of this show, you say you would definitely recommend it. I would definitely recommend for people to watch this show. What grade? Let's just go with a letter grade. What would you give it?
I'd give it a strong B+.
Yeah. I'd give it an A just based off of the fact that it set out to do something specific, and it did that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I tend to grade a little bit harder for some of these, but yeah, no, I mean, B+, an A.
I am a lot more forgiving.
Yeah, I tend to be an asshole, but that's just me in general.
Yes, it's true.
So, next week it's going to be my turn, and I decided that since we are going to be in the spirit of Thanksgiving, and we will have already had this year's version of the Survivor Series, I wanted to do the 1990s Survivor Series, which was the fourth... 1990, which was the fourth annual pay-per-view.
You're a son of a bitch.
Why?
I hate that show. Like, everything about that show I hate.
Oh, come on.
No, dude, there's only one good thing that came out of that show.
The Undertaker?
The Undertaker. That's it.
Well, that's base. Oh, come on. That and the gobbledygooker. Come on.
I hate you so much.
Come on. Hey, that 1990 Survivor Series set up one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history, okay?
Which was?
The Gimmick Battle Royal.
Oh, God. By the time the Sheik gets to the ring, it'll be WrestleMania 117.
Oh, God bless Bobby Heenan.
Yes.
So yeah, that was what I was deciding to go with, because that was the television debut of The Undertaker.
You can't do the next year when The Undertaker wins the title?
No, I wanted to do that year. And now hearing your response, it makes me want to do it even more.
Oh, I hate this show so much. The Ultimate Survivor match that they did, like how do they determine who is going to be on the same team? Because it was good guys versus bad guys, but it's not like the bad guys are like on the team called the Bad Guys. What if Paul Roma and Ted DiBiase didn't get along?
I know. So, but yeah, so...
Doesn't make any sense. I hate this show so much.
Okay, you know what? If it's really that bad,
No, it's your pick.
Well, we really can if it'll make, because I don't want to ruin your Thanksgiving, buddy.
Oh no, we can watch it. Well, you can look.
Because I would say we can easily do the 91. I mean, we'll acknowledge the fact that
don't change the show just because I'm whining like a bitch.
Okay, well, we're going to do the 1990 Survivor Series, and you know what the funny part about it is? It's probably be whining. It's going to
let me have an epic rant next week.
Oh, yeah, I might join you, depending. I literally haven't seen this Survivor Series since about 94.
Oh, boy.
So, but yeah, so we'll.
I don't understand that gobbledygook. What? You mean to tell me you're the gobbledygooker?
Oh, Mean
poor
Gene.
Mean Gene.
You know, he probably went out and started drinking. Well, poor Mean Gene. How about Hector Guerrero?
Oh, I know. Here, I'm a Mexican wrestling legend. Now I'm a turkey.
Well, and then the funny part is he reprised the role for the Gimmick Battle Royal.
Was it actually him? That's amazing.
It was him. Yes.
That's incredible. Speaking of the Gimmick Battle Royal, do you know why the Iron Sheik won?
Yeah, because they couldn't throw him out of the ring because of his knees.
Yeah, his knees were so bad he couldn't take a bump.
Yeah, he could not take a bump. So that's the one I decided to go with. So we'll go over that next week. And
this is because normally I said that I posted that thing about life being a competition and said you could suck it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm getting paid back. This is where we would normally do our indie spotlight segment, but while we've been talking, Tristan was messaging me, and he is just not feeling well. He's actually been battling a migraine all day.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah, and so he didn't have a chance to pre-record the indie spotlight segment, so we're not going to be doing the one this week. However,
next week, we are going to be doing an interview for our Indie Spotlight segment. We're going to be doing an interview with Primo's champion, Cody Devine. Check this out, Mike. Cody just had a really big opportunity.
Okay.
He had some big shoes to fill at Lucha Libre and Laughs on last Saturday on the 11th. There was supposed to be a match between Lonnie Valdez and Mike Seidel and Matt Cross, who you might know as Son of Havoc from Lucha Underground. Yeah. Well, Matt Cross's flight got canceled, and so he couldn't make the show, and Cody Devine filled in for him. And apparently the triple threat match brought the Oriental Theater to its feet.
Wow.
Yes. So huge for him, and we're going to talk to him next week. Fun little fact, I've known this guy almost his entire wrestling career. Like, he had just barely stopped being a referee when I met him. And so I've watched him improve so much. And then the week after that, which is the 29th, we will be having another interview for our Indie Spotlight, and that will be with Royce Isaacs, who, of course, I have mentioned on this show many times. And Royce actually just made his debut with Championship Wrestling for Hollywood. So look for that to be airing very soon. But he's gonna give us a call, and we're gonna chat with him on November 29th. So we got a couple of we're getting away from the formula a little bit and shaking it up, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's a little overdue for us to start getting some interviews in here. So there it is.
Oh, no, definitely. And so definitely looking forward to those interviews. And then remember, folks, we're going to have a show that we're going to post either Sunday evening or early on Monday that is going to be our review of the the Survivor Series pay-per-view. So look forward to that. Hopefully that'll be the first of many.
And we'll be calling it PWA on the PPV. So
there you go.
If you want to search for that, it's going to be on our YouTube channel. It'll be on our on the Pro Wrestling Podcast channels on TuneIn, iTunes, all of that. But it won't be. It'll be PWA on the PPV Survivor Series, or named off of the specific show, so you'll be able to find it.
So, all right, folks. Well, remember, check out our website, ProWrestlingAlmanac.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at PW Almanac. Subscribe to those YouTube channel and on our iTunes account. Also, we can be heard on TuneIn Radio, which is, once again, my favorite place to listen to the podcast.
I think we're up to like seven followers on TuneIn now.
Nice.
And our I think we're getting close to 30 on YouTube, if you can believe it.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks to our friends at Putting Over Podcasts on Facebook.
Yes. Love those guys. Cheap plug.
Yeah.
And then also, we're also available on Google Play. So if you want to try to stump the founder, Tristan, of the ProWrestlingAlmanac.com, please send your trivia again to us at stumpthealmanac@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike would love to not have to come up with questions for the week.
Yeah, that would be nice. I got other things to do, like work and raise kids.
It's overrated.
But yeah, that's it, folks. Ref giving us the 10 count, which means we're done. So until next week, I'm Mike. And for Tristan, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again when the bell rings.